Hello everybody, me Baby Couscous, and I'm back with the third and probably last deep web video for a little bit, as I'm still trying to learn how to use the deep web. I've just been using like linked list aggregators and the hidden wiki, and every single one is the exact same. There are no updates, nothing. And yeah, it's just kind of difficult to find sites. Also, I think this is just going to be my last one. That was because it's apparent, especially with the second entry in this series, I don't know how to handle the content I'm given. For example, on LHOHQ, there was just a lot of what's going on? That's crazy. What? It was just me saying what, and it was just you looking at the site, and there's no point in doing that when you could just check out the site yourself. Also, I was in a really pissy mood, just because I just felt like I had to get this video out, which is this is gonna be the biggest video I've ever uploaded, and with all of the stuff I had to edit out, like all the stuff I had to censor, I was like, oh no, this is gonna make it more difficult. And realistically, in the end, I learned a lot, and it was honestly fun and really rewarding to see everything come together. So, what I'm essentially saying is that I don't think my reaction to LHOHQ was the best. It could be better, which is probably why I'm going to give it its own video in the near future. But which is going to be interesting because that website is a weird rabbit hole. But yeah, this is going to be my last deep web video for a little bit while I still try to figure out how to actually do all of this. So I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's just get right into the first website. Alright, welcome to Dig Deeper. We got some nice... Oh, what is that anime? I think it's like something... Experiment Lane? Serial Experiment Lane, something like that. I don't know, I've never watched it. Hello visitor, please bookmark all the mirrors if you like this site. Who knows when I'll be deplatformed for coronavirus misinformation or something stupid. I welcome translations and Bitcoin donations, and there's this wallet. Edit, I don't really need the fake money. Ooh, I'm sorry, Crypto Bros, but he really did you dirty. Donate to Sci-Hub or whoever. Alternatively, report typos, broken links, etc., or just spread the word. Alright, I guess down there's all of his, what this mirrors. Alright, so, it's like a little article. There's like a bunch of, What? I just read Mozilla Devil Incarnate. So this is just articles on I guess software. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see better. Alright. How to choose a browser for your daily use, lifting the veil. Alright, lifting the veil, how to test the browsers for spyware, essential privacy or other add-ons, forum classification project, which forums don't get in your way. Email providers, which one to choose. Dude, make your own. That'd be cool. Like Baby Couscous TV at babycouscoustv.com. That'd be cool. Fake privacy security initiatives. Mozilla Devil Incarnate. Search engines, which one to choose. Ninja's Guide to the Internet. Bypassing the privacy chase. So this is other software. So useful Linux software you might not know about. Celix OS, a hidden gem among Linux distributions. I might want to check that one out. Refuting freetardism. Principles of bad software design. What Linux struggles with. Linux essentials. So society. Ooh. Avoiding the botnet. Impossible. Technological slavery. Capitalism will die, but will it take us with it? And the dangers of artificial intelligence. How capitalism will destroys everything. The enemy who surpasses the law. Refuting libertarianism. Coronavirus scare and the blueprint for slavery. That's interesting. I think we got some contradicting viewpoints going on here. I don't think it's just Mr. Serial Experiment Lane writing everything. Okay, but don't worry, we got video games next. Sid Meier's Pirates game recommendation. Short video game reviews, avoiding the decline of gaming, outdated. Favorite video game soundtracks, I might have to check that out. MP3 players, buyer's guide, Santa 707 juicer review. What? He reviewed a juicer, I guess. Community sites, I might need to check that out. Other sites I like, ooh. Oh, we got a conspiracy site. We will definitely check that out. Hopefully the onion link works, because I want to check that out this video. So let's check out... I'm going to check out Salix OS. I've never heard of this distro. Oh, this is a paper. It's got an abstract. Contact me. Okay. Salix OS hidden gem. Yeah. This distribution is not up to date. I recommend Slackle. Now, whatever. Okay. However, this article still has historical importance, and still Salix might be eventually updated when Slackware 15 comes out. A little backstory: I've been a Linux user since 2007. Sometime earlier, I read about it in a magazine, but didn't have a way to get it. Finally, we got the internet, and I ordered Ubuntu 7.1 CD from shipitubuntu.com. Shipit.ubuntu. They used to send them for free, but have long been defunct. That started my long Linux journey. Next was switching from Ubuntu to Kubuntu. I've never heard of Kubuntu. I'm an Ubuntu user at the moment just because I'm new to Linux, but I've never heard of Kubuntu. And when they switched to the, in my opinion, terrible KDE 4 or Kubuntu 4, I guess. But after a while, I decided I can't bear it with this and sought another distro, Slackware. At that time, I heard about the Linux distro for the smart people, Arch Linux. Nope, Slackware. Okay. You will learn how Linux really works, they promised. I didn't need any more convincing. It was soon on my drive. I actually learned a lot. Can't say that about the Ubuntus. What do you mean? I'm learning a lot from the Ubuntus. Yeah, boy. If it teaches you how to use Linux on Slackware, I might actually check that out. That'd be interesting. And still have a soft spot on my heart for Slack. In fact, I haven't used a non-Slack based distro since then for more than a few days or so. But in the end, Slack had a lot of flaws. First of all, it installed too much stuff by default. All the major desktop environments, a bunch of web browsers, mail clients, music players I was never going to use, and all the libraries those depended on. After the Slackware installation, I had to spend time cleaning it up, leaving, for example, only one of all the default desktop environments. Of course, it's impossible to remove everything you don't need, and very easy to break the system. Done that more times than I can remember. Disk space was a problem too, since I had a really old computer. Wasn't there a smarter way? Yes, there was. It's called Salix OS. Alright, so now we're getting to the meat and potatoes. Alright, let's start with the installation process. I have always had a problem with this part of the mini distros. Since I didn't have a CD/DVD burner at the time, I've installed it from USB drives, and it's Slackware. This was quite complicated. Salix handled that quite nicely. You can simply bump the ISO onto a 1GB drive, 13.37, boot it from it, and just worked. A rational philosophy. Salix followed, and still does, Salix followed the refreshing philosophy of one applicant per task. It included everything necessary for your regular PC usage: a lean desktop environment, a web browser, music player, image editor, mail client, IDE, torrent client, etc. Torrent client by default? That's freaky. Nice. And no clutter in sight. No need to remove things equals little change of breakage. Chance of breakage. I'm so dyslexic. I'm actually dyslexic. I don't want to offend any dyslexia out there, but I am actually dyslexic. Now this alone sealed the deal for me, but Salix had other advantages over pure Slack. Many convenience tools available. Whereas vanilla Slackware required manual downloading and installation of programs, Salix had a graphical tool to manage that. Just Splat and Sorcery for Slack builds. The main repositories also supported dependency resolution, again lessening the chances of breakage. Of course, you could still install the old-fashioned way if you wanted, and it was necessary sometimes. Other things were more convenient in Salix as well. For example, user and group management, which in Slackware required some cumbersome terminal commands. Pure Slack had no love for GUIs unless necessary. Even GUI is a graphical user interface, so essentially like your desktop environment. Uh, yeah, just in case you didn't know. Even something as sensitive as partition management was text-based, while Salix had gparted, I don't know, by default. These days, Salix superiority over Slackware has increased even more. The live iOS is available with a nice graphical installer, while Slack still sticks to the old text-based installer. It was nice back in the day, but it's time to move on. What about other distros? Well, Salix's main selling point was the one applicant per task philosophy is fulfilled only by one other distribution, ZenWalk. I have never heard of these distros. I feel left out. But it is much less polished. Live ISO is not available, and the installer is in the ancient text base only. Only 64-bit processors are supported. Well, who has a 32-bit? Unless you're like a laptop user. It does not even have a proper website or documentation. How about others, like the Ubuntu's? Well, I've long since moved on from those since I've experienced Salix. I don't want to go back to distributions with the throw everything in these and their philosophies. No clutter allowed. Summary, yeah, we don't need the summary. We just read that. All right, let's read about the Vigi games. Read about some Vigi games. Vigi games. Let's read if he has any video game reviews that I like, or like. That's a lot of games. All right, let's see. Got Ace Attorney, Corpse Party, Ninja, Wipeout, Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jungle Climber. I've never heard of this Donkey Kong game. Huh? Weird. All right. Contra 4, Hollow Knight. Okay, I know Hollow Knight. That's not. That looks like Contra. What? Okay. Okay, so it's down here, I guess. Yet another indie game jam that took the gaming world by storm, and deservedly so. I almost dropped it early because it was extremely dark and I couldn't see shit. This would be the dumbest thing I've ever done if I proceeded with it. That's because this game is one of the best ever in terms of atmosphere, soundtrack, combat, enemy variety, size, length, amount of possible playstyles, balance, attention to detail, dialogue, and pretty much everything else you can think of. So if you like gaming, just go play it right now, or keep reading for a detailed description. Oh, keep reading for a detailed description. Well, you never finished the description. But whatever. I don't see any Plants vs. Zombies on the DS. Hitman Go? Isn't that just like a puzzle game? Yeah. Alright, these are kind of lame video game reviews. So let's move to favorite video game soundtracks, because I like me a good video game soundtrack. Pokemon Red, yeah, always the Pokemon games have good soundtracks. That's what I love. Oh, they don't talk about Gen 5 Pokemon? Oh, what a shame. That one had a banging soundtrack. Oh, let's see if they got any Roller Coaster Tycoon? Huh? Okay. What? The Flintstones game? There's no like Okay, but Pokemon Gold, more Pokemon games. Did you just play roller coaster games and Pokemon games? Go play like a Mario game. That game has, those games have like banging soundtracks. Yeah, what? Those are some stanky video game soundtracks. I want to read this guy's review of a juicer. That is. Oh, no, no way. It keeps going. I'm not reading all of this. Okay. This is a review of a juicer on the deep web. But the deep web's full of murder and bad things and drugs. Nah, man, we got a juicer right here. Let's go read about this man's experience with a juicer. Okay. Okay, here's the review. Here's the actual review. The e-juicer's review of the Santa was pretty deceptive, but clearly aimed at increasing sales. What? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. But how is the device itself? Surprisingly, it's pretty nice. Overall, I'd rate it about a 7 out of 10 on the juice rating scale. Woo! It juices everything well and is fast to assemble and clean, which are the most important criteria for rating juicers. There's also durability, but you'd need a year of heavy usage to say anything about that. Really, the most important issue is that the price does not justify the quality. See, for that kind of money issue, the small issues I'd otherwise ignore rise in size. A G21 Gracioso juicer costs about 60% of the Sana 707 and has a truly wide feed chute. This guy is a master of juicers. He knows what he's talking about. A truly wide feed chute. Santa requires cutting produce into really small pieces. Anti-drip. Santa will leak stuff onto the counter. A pulp outlet that goes further. Santa will concentrate the pulp in the front part of the container unless you manually move it. A ceramic auger. This is massive in my opinion. The only safe material. Similar juice yield and quality. Similar amount of noise, as in not much. No annoying huge hopper. Seriously, who even uses it? Okay. Guess this is the juicer in question. No, this is the one. This is the Gracioso, not the Sana. You have this picture of the Sana one? Yeah. That is a ridiculously huge hopper. Look at that. Yeah. That's kind of weird. Yeah, that's interesting. Alright. Hold on. It keeps going. Keep in mind I haven't used this juicer. Which juicer? The Gracioso? Anyway, this is just what I can see from pictures, videos, and specifications. It could turn out to be quite frail, and then all the other advantages still stop mattering. Still, I can find cheaper juicers that have other features that the Sana doesn't, such as speed or pressure adjustments, etc. So how can the Sana charge so much? Again, it's all about the impression you create in the customer's minds. A known brand name and good marketing presence can make a product seem much more quality than it actually is, and more deserving of a high price. You're also paying for the so-called premium accessories, like the containers and additional attachments. Can you say bloat? As far as I'm concerned, juicers might as well come without containers, brushes, or strainers, since everyone has an additional attachment. Everyone has those at home already. If it's not your first juicer, then the additional equipment will be just annoying and take up space in your cupboards. For a 50% price increase, you can get Omega's newest model, Santa 727, which adds anti-drip, while even the Chinese knockoffs have that, and speed adjustments, but keeps the small feed chute. Okay. This guy is dedicated to just reviewing juicers. Okay, I think that's it. There's a lot going on here. Let's check out the site. Hopefully the onion links up. Okay, ooh, okay. That was fast. Alright, is this just a website? Okay, yeah, good, it is a website. Okay, so let's just get right into it. I don't have to. This is gonna be an easy video to edit. I just pop it into VSDC and just All right. Conspiracy Trilogy Report: Apollo Moon Hoax, JFK Assassination, 9/11 Truth. This would be a good website. I just want to make it very clear that I am not. These are just conspiracies, because I'm sure YouTube it won't be too happy with spreading a conspiracy theories, but these are just conspiracy theories. All right. Over 70 logical arguments and evidence debunking the official stories. Winston Wu. Who? Let me. No. Whatever. Open link in new tab, maybe? Oh, it's about him. Okay. Let's just get on with it. No, this is an ongoing project that will be continually updated and revised or checked back regularly for new info, arguments, and evidence. Americans don't feel to need to lie to themselves. That's what the government is for. Michael Ribeiro. They must find it difficult. Those who have taken authority as the truth rather than truth as the authority. Gerald Massey. Any links here? No. Introduction. Let's just click that, I guess. That is a wall of text. Okay. Do we want to read the introduction, or we just want to? Yeah, let's just get straight. Let's just get straight into it. Let's see. The JFK assassination. What is this one? This is the Apollo 11 moon hoax, and click that. Okay, section 1, the Apollo moon hoax valid reasons not to doubt NASA's if you have a grammatical error as horrible as that, I'm going to start to not trust you simply because of that. You got NASA ?S. Whatever. Historic manned lunar landing. The bigger lie, the bigger the lie, the easier it will be believed. Adolf Hitler said that, apparently. Other conspiracies we're going to talk about. The Apollo moon landing hoax is one of that gets the most ridicule and derision, and it puts the same category as Holocaust denial, which is a cheap, discrediting tactic without merit. The Apollo moon landing of 1969 to 72 are seen as an accomplishment that is a pillar of American pride in being the first to go to the moon. They are like a sacred religion that is taboo to question. Anyone who questions it is assumed to be crazy. Anyone who questions it is assumed to be crazy. Okay. So at first you might think that at any notion the Apollo moon landing being a hoax are crazy and absurd. It's something that only nutcases believed. However, the fact of the matter is you really can ? Can ? So can't know if the Apollo moon landing were real unless you ? Been there. So all you can do is take that we've been there. It's only when you dig deeper, examine the evidence, and employ. Just give me the stuff. Okay, so he states his hypothesis. You realize that the probability of the two following statements is very likely to be true. The moon landings were a hoax, and we never went there. And B, we did go to the moon, but there's a dark secret surrounded it that caused us to not go back and led to the faking of at least some of the videos and photos of the moon. Okay. NASA's ability to send men to the moon today means they could not have in 1969. Let's start with the strongest argument. First, here are some shocking facts that will leave you scratching your head. Fact. Every major technological accomplishment in history has been repeated well under 40 years, all except one. Within 40 years of Christopher Columbus setting foot in America in 1492, thousands of other Europeans had done the same. Within 40 years, the Wright brothers flight across the Atlantic Ocean in 1903, thousands of other people had done the same. Within 40 years of Sir Edmund Hillary reaching the summit of Mount Everest in 1953, thousands of other explorers had done the same. And within 40 years of Yuri Gagarin's orbit around the Earth in 1961, many others had done the same. Yet 40 years and 12 men allegedly set foot on the moon in 1969 to 72, and not a single person or country has done it or attempted to do, including the Russians who were ahead of us in the space race. Does this not seem strange and illogical? Fact. Since the Apollo moon mission in 1969, which sent astronauts 240,000 miles to the moon and back 6 times, no one has ever gone higher than 400 miles above Earth. The space shuttle missions have gone below that, remaining well under 400 miles. Fact. So far, 4 astronauts have died in the space shuttle missions that went 200 miles above Earth, yet during the Apollo program, NASA allegedly sent astronauts 240,000 miles to the moon and back 6 times with no loss of life at all. In other words, 200 miles equals 14 casualties, 100,000 miles equals 0 casualties. Does that seem odd? Would you buy that? Can you fathom an enormous difference between 200 and 240,000 miles and how big of a stretch that is? And if these don't leave you scratching your head, I haven't scratched my head yet, but, I'll get there, then nothing will. What all this means is that inexplicably NASA was able to send men 600 times farther than in 1969 than it can today. How believable is that? Have you ever heard of technology going backward by such extreme magnitude? It's totally illogical and nonsensical. To give you an idea of what the proportions that we are taking about this, the Earth is 8,000 miles in diameter and the Moon is 240,000 miles away. That means you would have to line up Earth 30 times to line up 30 Earth globes to equal the distance to the Moon, since 8,000 times 30 equals 240,000. What this means is that in 1969, NASA could send men to the distance of 30 globes, but today it can only send humans barely above the Earth, under 400 miles. If you have a model globe in your home, 400 miles would be about where did I go? Maybe about an inch above it. Look at these implications here today. Look at the implications here. Today, NASA does not have the technology to go higher than 400 miles above Earth, and has indirectly admitted it by their actions and not doing so in words. In a press release, NASA stated that Van Allen radiation belts that surrounded Earth are too dangerous to send humans to, and is trying to figure out how to solve these problems. That's interesting, and he does cite Reuters, which, they're reputable. That's interesting. In a TV interview with journalist Sheena McDonald in 1994, NASA Administrator Dan Goldin openly admitted that mankind cannot venture beyond Earth orbit until they can overcome the dangers of toxic cosmic radiation. He managed to say this without any mention of the Apollo missions 25 years prior, which supposedly went 240,000 miles outside Earth's orbit. This doesn't make any sense given that none of the astronauts on the Apollo 6 missions allegedly passed the radiation belts with no problem and no sickness. That's interesting. Obviously, by this admission, NASA has shot itself in the foot. Logic would ask, if they can't figure out that out, then how did they get astronauts through it 6 times in 1969 to 72? Without any casualties or sickness from radiation. Humans were built different back then. We had lead in our bodies. That's why. It's because the water in our tap system had lead in it. Simple. I just figured it out. Don't quote me on that. That I'm making that up. Woo. Where'd it go? Okay. It's a huge discrepancy. One of those obvious things right under your nose that you don't notice unless someone points it out for you. Yet amazingly, most Americans are too gullible to notice when NASA shoots itself in the foot. This can only testify to how deeply ingrained the brainwashing of Americans must be. Only time in history where technology backwarded by an extreme measure. Yeah, you already told us that. Clear signs of fakery in Apollo moon photos. Okay, let's get into this. I used to assume that the Apollo moon landings were a historic fact until I began seriously examining the photographic and video record. The sheer number of inexplicable anomalies and apparent impossibilities shown in some of these photos and videos can only lead the one to firm conclusion that they were not taken on the moon, as NASA has led us to believe. Um, Many the Apollo images and videos show obvious, clear signs of fakery, which indicate that not they could not have been taken on the moon's surface. Photos expect experts bold enough to tell the truth have stated this as well, such as David Percy of Ollis.com. Even the engineer who developed the Hasselblad camera, even the engineer who has developed the Hasselblad camera engineer used by the Apollo astronauts said that he could not explain the discrepancies and the anomalies in the Apollo images. Though he probably suspects that the moon photos are fake, he cannot just come out and say that because his company has a bigger profitable contact with NASA, obviously. Here are some main examples. 2. Oh, well, here, yeah. No. I've decided not to use the standard hoax argument with the stars not appearing. Okay, so he's not going to use, like, the reflection of the astronaut and the stars in the background. Whatever. Shadow anomalies indicate secondary artificial light sources. The shadows diverge and converge into many of the moon landing photos. Some of them even converge into a perpendicular 90 degrees. This cannot be if there's only one light source. Hold on, I'm just examining the picture. This cannot be if there's only one light source. The sun, as NASA alleges, under the sun's shadows run parallel to each other. They do not converge or intersect, thus there must have been a second light source. I don't see any convergence, though, in the picture. Oh, they do not converge or intersect, thus there must have been a second light source, such as fill lights used in a movie studio stage. To balance out the lighting, since officially the astronauts did not bring any other light source with them. Okay, so if the sun were there, actually present in the picture, there would be the shadows would be converged and stuff like that. But as you can see right here, they don't. All right. Okay. Apollo defenders tried to cop out this by claiming that the slant of the surface angle the slant of the surface angle of the sun in perspective of the viewer can cause shadows to diverge or converge or diverge. However, many of these shadows are on objects close to each other, and there is no indication that the sun is at an extreme angle. Most of the shadow anomalies were fairly level surfaces, and even on those that weren't, the slight slant was not enough to account for the distorted shadows. Here is an even more bizarre anomaly. The US flag doesn't even have a shadow at all. Huh. Huh. Astronauts lift up in shadows by multiple light sources. Alright, enough about shadows. Let's get on to more spicy stuff. Oh yeah, this classic photo with the spotlight, you can see the reflection. Yeah. Yeah, that's quite an artificial backdrop going on there. But this section is just on artificial backdrops. I'm not gonna read, just because we got two other conspiracies to get to. Yeah. The sun image on the moon turns out to be a light bulb, an enhanced image. Huh. That's kind of crazy. So this is the sun in the pictures is actually just a light bulb, apparently. Alright, lunar rover with no tire tracks on either side. Huh. So just talking about how the rover didn't leave any tire tracks, I guess. Huh? Hold on, this section is going to be interesting. Fake looking moon from orbit with giant shadow from command module. Here's a funny one in this orbital photo of the moon that NASA claims was taken 95 kilometers above the moon's surface. Not only does this look like a fake model, but it is the giant shadow. But on the left is a giant shadow cast by the command module, which was the size of a pickup truck. Thus, the shadow proportion is way off. See below. Yeah, that's true. Could the moon replica models used in this... the moon replica models used in Apollo photos and footage? Maybe. Who knows? Wires visible above Apollo astronauts in NASA footage. Oh yeah, you can kind of see a wire action going on there. Yeah. Yeah, I see that. Boot prints cannot be made in dust or dirt or dust without moisture. The photos of the astronauts' blueprints in the moon dirt should not be possible. Boot prints are only possible when there is moisture in the sand or dirt. On the moon, there is no moisture. When one steps on dry sand, such as sand dunes, no footprint is left and no ridges from the boot soles are embedded. All that's left is a small dent in the sand. So this is a curious anomaly. That's interesting. American flag fluttering on moon with no air or atmosphere. That's true. No blast crater under lunar landers. Yeah, there. Yeah. Wow. Slow motion movements, low jump. Okay. I think we've seen enough of this. Let's move on to, I guess, the JFK assassination. That's this still. That was a wild ride so far. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna... Yeah. Okay. Zapruder film proves the fatal headshot came from the front and right. Okay, so we're on the JFK assassination now. Okay. So we got autopsy photos. But why? I want to get to the reason why, because I don't know a motive. Yeah, I'm not seeing. Okay, so there were two shots. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what to say about this. It's not as interesting as the Apollo landing. I don't know. I think I'm just gonna end it here, maybe, because I don't want to spend too long. I'll come back to this website in like another video. That won't be for a while. But yeah, I'll definitely have to come back here to this website. But yeah. I don't know what else to say other than I guess I'll just have to wrap it up now. I guess. Thank you for watching this video. I enjoyed it. If you liked what you saw, you should consider like, commenting, or even subscribing. If you didn't like it, I don't know, leave a hateful comment, report me, who knows. Alright, this is me, Baby Couscous, and I am signing out.